The deadline for students to apply for scholarships through the Northern New York Community Foundation is approaching fast. Students have until March 15 to submit applications, which can be located on the foundation's website. Last year, more than $1 million in scholarships was given out for students to use for college tuition, as well as to help with the costs of vocational or trade schools.
Higher education now, whether it's technical, trade school, university or college, is very expensive. The less that they, have to seek out in loans or those types of things, the better off they'll be once they complete their education.
Scholarship winners will be announced in June. Those looking on how to apply or more information can visit www.nnycf.org.